Hey, what is up, everybody? Just want to go. I haven't been live this week. It's been a little crazy. Been working very hard on the product side. Been developing, coding. It's a little early morning, but I thought over the last 24, 48 hours, I've gotten to the point now where I'm ready to scream. I'm like losing my mind. I'm watching all the hype, and congrats to the teams that have done well and think that this is good for them. But the whole launch a token, believe app, ICM. And for those who don't know, the internet capital market, which is this idea of, hey, I have a company, I can just launch a token, uh, and now I have this token next to my company that makes me fees, and I'm making millions of dollars. Um, I think there's huge downside to it, and I don't think enough people are talking about it. If you have a different take, I'm happy to hear it. Drop in the chat, but for the most part, I think if you're a founder from a Web2 company and you're launching a token right now without regard for longevity or how this plays into your market, I think if you have investors and you're launching a token right now, you're an idiot. Um, I, and I get it. It's the blockchain. We're Web3. What's the point of it if there aren't tokens or tokens are viewed as bad? I don't think that's the point. I think it's you have to step back if you're a founder right now and think about, okay, I have customers. They might not know about Web3. I have a brand. I have an image. I want to make sure everybody's aligned. I have investors. Um, Dropping a token does not make the most sense. I would say 90% of the time, if you're a founder, especially, I think that goes up even more if you're not even a native Web3 company. But I'm happy to go into that. I'll share some thoughts. I got to pull up some tweets here as well around that. But I think it hit hard when I've seen a few companies that I've seen the decks and I've been pitched by that are Web 2, never even have talked about Web 3. And I saw one of them, I saw two or three of them that at the deck founder conversation level, I've seen launch tokens. Um, don't think it was ever on their radar to become a Web3 tokenized company, but here they are, and they've generated tons of money in fees. But now they have the headache of figuring out, okay, now we have this token. What do we do with it? And I hope that's the part where like it's coming through of, okay, launching a token is very short sighted. If all it is you're getting fees. Now Tyler D had a very good rebuttal to me on Twitter, which was, okay, well, if they're extending the runway, isn't that a good idea? And these are all hypotheticals because we're only like 7 days into the hype fest of this. I would say no, because if it's setting you back 6 to 12 months and setting you, further and further back from focusing on the real business that is the thing that investors invested in, um, it's not worth it. Doesn't make any sense to me. Uh, I usually don't. I never do these rants, so I'm a little uncomfortable here. I'm usually like a very positive person, but it's gotten me to the point, and I think a lot of the OGs in this space, the class from the early 2014 to 16 class. The NFT class, I think, is even a better example here. The people that are around in 2021, the people that saw the NFT meta take advantage of external participants, artists at the time. You saw people that, they had art careers, they were doing great physical pieces, had a huge collector base, had an inspiring trajectory towards, being in auction houses, etc. Animated features coming out of their stuff get pulled in from people that were in Web3 saying, hey, like, come, don't do that art piece. Don't, make it generative, drop 10,000 of them and you'll make $1 million. Um, go talk to a bunch of those artists. I think for some it has worked out, but for 90% of them, I think a lot of them are like, hey, I wish I never touched this because it just wasn't my wheelhouse, or it was done in an extractive way, or I didn't think it out uh well enough. Trust me, I've talked to enough of them. If they could do Control Z, they'd go back and they wouldn't do it again. And I'm not trying to like shit on like don't touch Web3, don't do anything. I'm saying you have to think about it in a very more mature and like, hey, we're trying to get longevity out of this. Same thing's happening now. Web2 companies, tokenization. Hey, buddy, why don't you just launch a token? And yeah, I think we're gonna get down the road, and a lot of these founders are gonna be like, yeah, that was a nightmare. That was a period where if I could go back, I would not do. Some will find success, but I just think it is very bad for the most part. Um, as always, happy to hear the thoughts from everybody who's tuning in. Hope everybody's doing well. Like I said, it's been a little bit crazy this week. We've been in the trenches building, not trading, building. Um, if you disagree with this take, if you have a different opinion here, feel free to drop it in the chat. Even DM me if you want to come up and debate me live. I'll even invite that. Um, outside of that, though, the markets right now, for the most part, we're seeing a lot of drama around Coinbase right now with the hack of their data overseas from their support department. We're seeing a lot of stress around this ICM thing where liquidity is getting pulled from a lot of different metas and different tokens, and that's flowing back into, hey, there's a company that's now on the chain. And we're also seeing a huge, I think, point here where yes, majors have recovered incredibly well from the dip that we saw over the last month. But we're at a pause point as I think a lot of people are waiting to see how the rest of things play out between the US, China, geopolitically. And um, I think on the long term, if you want my opinion, if you're like, hey, where do you think things are going for Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum? I think at the major level, cryptocurrencies over the next 6 months trend up. I think we might have some bits of rockiness like we are experiencing right now. Um, but for the most part, I think you got to take stick your toe in the water and kind of just judge what's going on right now. And it's a very bullish environment. Um, and yeah, if you weren't paying attention to reports and the Fed and everything else that is going on, it looks bullish to me. Um, so yeah, that is my take there. Um, what else we got? Like I said, I gotta pull up these Twitter posts that I was going to talk about. Um, again, I just don't. I'm like completely lost on some of these decisions that I'm seeing being made. Also, not sure if people have checked this out. And I'll pull. Can I share my screen easily doing this? Let's do Chrome tab. I'm not sure if anybody's checked this out. Poof. Poof.new. So this whole meta around launching and having tokenization around items. Um, so you had, and here's my thesis on where things go, and maybe a unpopular take, but will be popular when if the founder ever sees this. Not sure if he watches or anybody who passes along to him, but I think for the most part, we went from the launchpad of tokens, and now everybody's launching their own launch pads. And where does this trend to, and what's the next kind of like, how does it keep evolving? Well, I think we're at a point now where if you have stuff like Poof, you can launch dApps in minutes, and we're getting vibe coding and the launching of companies from people who are spending a weekend. Like, oh, I have an idea. Let me code Cursor plus some other tools. Lets you get that done in a weekend. A thing that would have taken you a month or 2 months, you can do in a weekend now. So I saw this popped up. I had 3 friends. I won't name. Jonah. Jonah is one of them who tweeted about it publicly, so I'll name him. But got on my radar. Saw one of the co-founders is a Virginia Tech alum who, if you don't know, I am also a Virginia Tech alum. So I support people that are from the same part of the family. You're a Hokie, your family. Um, excited to see this though because I think this is multi-layered where you can launch dApps, but also those dApps can have their tokens, and so now you have, okay, there's actually something that catches people's attention and starts being used. All of a sudden now you can have a token involved with it, and that can be integrated in a way that's meaningful. So actually things that are usable, that make sense. You can now launch actual usable code. I launched like a raffle idea thing for if like you're live streaming, connecting a wallet, being able to give away digital art, etc. I'm really excited about this. Definitely go check it out. You can check out some of their sample apps, on-chain marketplaces, portfolio trackers. I like this. You can literally just type in, "Hey, make me a portfolio tracker," and here you go. Um, and it's very easy to calculate all those things. As you can see, this is not not trivial. There's some integrations. You have to have the right API calls. All this is being done by Poof. So love to see it. They have Dex integration, binding curve integration. They're on mainnet. Uh, Definitely go check them out. Just thought I'd highlight that real quick. What else did I want to bring up? We had the Frank drama. CryptoPunks earlier this week, being acquired by Node Foundation. Hugely um, bullish on that. I think that's a good thing to see. The big takeaway for me was who is the winner? The biggest holders of punks are going to be the winners here. So Yuga probably making out the best. Um, and I do look at people such as Gandhi who are, while they're not the actual holder, they're custodians of a lot of these punks that are going through loans and being sold. I think if Gandhi ever turned on fees for themselves and started figuring out a way to monetize significantly, you would see them become one of the highest valued companies in the space. Uh, yeah, I do think Gandhi is probably a sleeping giant right now as far as like DeFi. Um, as far as DeFi goes, I'm very bullish there. Um, yeah, I have to highlight Mary on sharing this. Let me also, it also helps if I am sharing the screen, which it doesn't seem to be sharing anymore. Let's verify this time that I'm sharing. Uh, if you aren't familiar with Mary, I think she's got some good takes. Probably one of the more slept on accounts in the space. Very smart person. I thought this was an interesting take, and it got me thinking because I started looking at valuations in the space, and I have friends that are starting to look at doing raises and all this fun stuff. But what's interesting is Believe app is worth more than any L1 or L2 uh, because if you look at L1s and L2s and a lot of these protocols, they don't make any money. There's no revenue. And I think the biggest person who's ran about this has been G Money recently. Um, but there's a total disconnect. Like, we don't need any more L1s or L2s. You got to go make, like, who's making money? Do you have a good business? Believe app right now, yes, they're a good business in this current meta. They've made like $100 million in a week. Um, we need more apps. I think that's the point I'm trying to get at. We don't need, and unfortunately, Believe app, my whole rant for this talk was that Believe app is launching a bunch of tokens that I don't think have any real value because there's a disconnect between the company and the token and the value accrual. But it's a real app. They generate money, so they deserve a real valuation right now. I think we just need more builders. That's why I like Poof. Poof enables builders on chain. I love it. I think Doodles got it right. Coinbase got it wrong on like Coinbase was like coin it. And yes, I agree with it to an extent, but I think it's not like, hey, pump fun, pump my bags, like go coin it, like bring it on chain, tokenize it, but don't expect it. Don't do it in a reasoning to go make millions. Like I took a bunch of photography and I just put it on chain because I was like, hey, I want people to be able to see it, and it lives natively as a digital file, so I can bring that on chain. I coined it. Oh, maybe not coining it, but I tokenized it. Um, what I really like is this build it. Like Doodles was pushing this slogan really hard. I think we just need more builders. We need more builders in the space. I think we need the ethos back of like, why are we here? We're expand on the Web3, uh, bring more stuff on chain, build cooler things that should exist on chain. Um, yeah, big builder, big builder mentality right now. Um, Also wanted to point out as far as the market goes, punks are sale right now. Very interesting. Um, what we saw happen. I see. Here's what I gotta do. I gotta turn this back on. Um, can I do it this way? Yeah, it's a little bit easier if I do it this way. Um, what's interesting right now is we saw this announcement come out. We saw punks run from a 40 to a 50th floor. Technically, they're at 50th because the floor from 46 back up to 50 is very thin. And if we round a little bit, but Also, if you scroll through this, there's not many grails here until you get further up into. I mean, like, look, you got the biker mustache, you got Pooh Face, you got the buck tooths. Um, as far as like a forever PFP, I mean, I think you're up near the hundreds before you get one up here. VRs. We're probably going to see this floor run towards $1 million. Right now, we're sitting at about 100,000. Um, expecting this floor to keep moving. I think as we get there, you're going to start to see a lot of repricing of certain traits, and a lot of people are going to be put in position of like, all right, I bought this punk and now I'm in the profit. Um, but yes, 10x to a million, totally doable. 100 ETH floor, $10,000 Ethereum. We'll see if that happens. But for the most part, I'm keeping my eyes. The only NFTs that I really truly care about are what's happening with punks, what is happening with squiggles, what's happening with autoglyphs, and what's happening with pudgy penguins. Those four. Um, not to say I don't care about other ones, but I think those are like the real health markers of the ecosystem. Um, and are also probably like at the Grail level. Three of those are certainly Grail, like forever holds. Um, we had on Squiggled Out. Oh, I got Squiggled Out. Actually, I got a package from Squiggled Out this morning. Did not open it yet. I could go open that. Maybe we'll go do that. I was gonna save that for tomorrow morning. We'll figure that out in a second here. But yeah, punks are chilling. You can also pull up what's going on the entire market right now for NFTs. What's interesting though is that Pudgy Penguins is a notable collection that currently has pulled back considerably here. So take a look. Pudgy Penguins now sitting at 10 ETH. They're down 10% from maybe closer to 20%. They were like 11.5, while the token's up. Um, the number one collection that I have to just applaud real quick. Again, I'll keep screaming about them time and time and time again. Courtyard has absolutely put on a masterclass. Fern was a guest on the live stream, talked about how he admired them for their marketing and growth strategy. Courtyard has killed it. But for the most part, the big collections outside of CryptoPunks have been feeling some weight of the market. Ethos Validators, new drop from Ethos, which is an app on Base. If you're not familiar, very interesting company. Ethos has been doing reputation. It's a reputation layer. So they look at your wallet history, they look at your social history, people review you, they can vouch capital against you and your reputation. Um, yes, I pay attention to these. I think that they run the same playbook that Cato ran. Would not be surprised if the owners of these get some sort of airdrop, as well as they have additional voting rights. Haven't talked to the team too much, so for the most part, this is all speculation, but I'm pretty bullish on where these go. Currently sitting for one of these right now. One of these is currently, I don't know what the price of this is, just easier to go and click in. No, $7,100, $7,200. So not a small airdrop to those people. Excited to see what happens there. Also keeping a big eye here on DX Terminal. A lot of people were like, hey, there's 36,000 of them. I just found out also like a couple hours ago, my mint never went through. I have like 4 or 5 failed mints that they all said processing. I just assumed that they would go through. Interactions with the contract all failed. So I am not participating, but I think this is probably going to be one of the more significant mints that we see in 2025. Remember, when everybody's fading something, you probably want to at least get a little bit of exposure there. Will be super interesting to see how this plays out. 36,000 AI agents all interacting at the same time. I think it's a very interesting experiment. Um, yeah, it's basically it's entertainment at the end of the day. I know it's only 9 days long. I know there's no like incentive for the token after it's done. Like I just gotta say I'm super hyper bullish on the fact that this is a new form of entertainment. If you step back and look at that, Gremplin is the artist, and if you really, really look at it, this is one of the first things that I was like, actually, that's cool, but I don't see the like financial return on, which maybe isn't the best lens to look through, but very interesting. I think even if you're not participating, keep an eye on it. I always encourage people to be learning, stay open to things. Don't be like a maxi about what you're trading or looking at. Um, but dude, I'm bought in. I like it. It's cool. Very interesting. Um, what else we got? The rest of the market as well as far as tokens go. Um, it's so funny. If I was, I'd like to buy some Bitcoin and Fartcoin and kick my feet up. Uh, I don't think there's anything else that I'm like really like dying to trade right now. The trenches are certainly alive. And if you want to go flip 100 SOL into 1,000 SOL, totally doable. It might take 2 weeks and you might lose a lot along the way, but um, yeah, those are the only two. VGF, GM, my friend. Curious will be a curious one to follow. Yeah, experimental stuff is bullish. I hope that people understand that. Very, very bullish on the experimental stuff. I've done my research here. I've talked to the right people. I got a good vibe here. I read the situation wrong. Maybe I should just go sweet. Like, can I buy if I missed the mint? I think because they were like minting at like 0.09 or something. Can I just sweep the floor and then participate, or is it? Am I like too late to the game here? I gotta look into this because I would like to participate. It'd be cool to be part of something that's experimental in the space. But that being said, my prediction here is that this will do well, get a lot of people excited. There's gonna be a lot of data that comes out of this on how like a bunch of AI agents interacting play out and how it's entertainment and the consumption of that and the interaction of a new type of game. Then what follows after that? I think this is a good V1, and I think they should reward. They'll find some way to reward the people that participated. Yeah, they are cheap on secondary. They're about mint price, but I would assume that the things on secondary aren't exactly. I mean, I'm assuming these aren't like amazing things. I'd be willing to because they come with builder, female, modding old hobby. So yeah, there's like they come with a bunch of like attributes to the person. Um Interesting. Maybe I can DMG money and he'll sell me some of his. But again, like rollerblade. Like there's actual like archetype. Okay, so yeah, here. Gender, most female. Yeah, so there's like standout traits. It's like being born. You have like your DNA. You win the DNA lottery? Um let's see. There's nothing there. Age, middle age. Okay. So there's not like a one singular standout trait here. Um Although this doesn't show hobbies. So archetype. Oh. That's weird that what's going on with OpenSea? You should be able to filter this stuff. You should be able to filter this stuff. Come on. Traits, age, character. Nope, but there's no hobby. Is this an OpenSea issue or is this on the collection? I feel like this is all the metadata and traits should be sortable. I don't know. Um, if anybody from OpenSea is watching, can you fix that? That'd be sick. But I do love. Don't get me wrong. I do actually love a lot of the quality of life stuff on OpenSea right now. Pull you off of here. Crypto the game. Yeah, exactly. Crypto the game. Also, Inside NFTs. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Look, I ranted. I started this chat off ranting pretty hard about ICM stuff. I I'm still like I'm like very upset. Not okay. I'm like just confused on a lot of the decision making and damn, I hope I'm wrong. And I think I gotta my goal here is to like bring on a founder or two that's doing ICM stuff and try to understand. Maybe I've read the situation completely wrong. Um, but who knows? I feel like I feel like the fucking old. I got like fucking white hair and shit coming in now. I'm been here too long, guys. I've been here too fucking long, and I've seen too many things. play out in just a terrible way when we get these hype moments. And I think that the loser here is just the Web 2 companies. So um, that's my take. Gremplin is the artist behind DX. So yes, we like that. We like the Gremplin. I just need Gremplin to fix to run up the prices of his one of ones again, so I can get mine back up to value. But um, amongst the other NFT market, Meebits 0.75. Who would have thought? Good Vibes Club still holding strong 0.62. On-chain Genesis. I mean, strong, so strong. Possibly the reason that Abstract has motion within the NFT market, right? Well, the reason I would say, and I think has been very strong for them. I think Abstract still, the fact that I don't see it all over the timeline, the fact that, I mean, look, can I refresh this? Can I see how many people I have? What's going on Abstract? I mean, I got the chat running. Um, I what I would love to. Oh, did they take off the number of? I don't think they did. Um, I I would love to see us get to a point where we realize that Abstract's just like a free for all green pasture right now. I'm trying to stream more on Abstract. If you're watching this, go switch. You can stay on wherever you're watching, but I think Abstract is probably a big one. And then what I'm probably most interested in it here is obviously I've been building in the shadows a little bit, uh, loud within certain groups and conversations that I've had, but um user generated content in the space, it's not going anywhere. It's also like the lifeblood of a lot of these companies. Attention. I've tweeted about that today. A lot of the guests that I've had on, if you've listened to the stuff I put out, attention matters so fucking much in this space. And I think you got to do things that help you not only create that attention, but also like how do you empower somebody that's using your product to get that attention? Abstract is basically giving people a platform to garner attention, and that siphons back to them. I think live streaming, and if you look at like what VFriends has been doing with Whatnot, that's been super interesting for like raffles. Speaking of VFriends, and for a lot of people, this is going to be probably like the first time in a while that they've heard VFriends. But dude, Gary has been. For anybody that's not familiar, here I'll pull the NFTs down for a second because I feel like I got to go on a small little rant here, which is VFriends was super hot. I love Gary. He's got insane motion as a salesman. He's got insane motion as a businessman. Actually, I think is the better way to put it. But I totally missed it. The trading card and the card game kind of looked over it. It's not my I'm not like a card collector, so I didn't pay too much attention. Where I see the fucking motion here is one, he figured out a way to do tangible collectibles to Web 2 using Web 3 IP. Love that. But also has been using this the collectibles that he now has and all of the merch, etc., to do these live streams on Whatnot. These pack rips, these giveaways that he's doing, the raffles that he's doing. They pull in people, they get you excited, and now he's created like a secondary market on eBay, etc. Um, yeah, yeah, okay. I'm glad I'm not alone on this. Didn't get the Whatnot thing at first. You know, I saw them, and here's the thing that kind of for me it was like, I don't know. But when they start doing these like giveaways of like very expensive things, I don't know if people know this. The original, like the OG card game from VFriends, that a sealed box on eBay right now is, I think, well, 'cause I saw this. I don't want to get the number wrong. And again, we're talking about VFriends, the NFT product. A sealed box of these, I'm not sure what you think they're worth. I know it blew my mind. It genuinely blew my mind. Like the Chrome packs that we're selling, I think online for like 125 or $150. Those are 500. The Series 2 trading card game boxes are like $300 to $500. Where it gets insane is the OG boxes. Um, Let me share this tab. The OG boxes. Here's the price. And then this is, I think, 5 of them. Yeah, this is 5 boxes. So 6 grand or six what? 6.5, 6.3 a piece. Um what? And this is like legit, like 6 grand for 10 card. I think there's 10 cards in each. Um absolutely absolutely nuts. And they did a giveaway of one of these boxes. They opened it and ripped it and passed them out. Um I'm actually like just blown away by this. Now that I think there's others that uh you might be able to get for a little bit better of a deal. This guy obviously is sitting on a huge return. If anybody knows that these were originally, would love to know. But like V Friends has been killing it. Secondary market, and Gary's done well to like actually get some hype around it. Um, I I don't know. I feel like I just had to bring this up. But what have they yes. This is a good question. This is a great question. What have they actually sold for? Okay, original. It's the original box. All the other ones um have all sold. Like these are selling for 350 to 500 all day. And these the new ones, the Chrome boxes, are selling for 300 to 500 all day as well. Sold and completed. If you don't know eBay, you got to go to the sold and completed. Oh, here you go. May 9th. $6,900 for the OG box. I mean, look at these. These are not like joke. Like it's not lost on me. This is insane. This is insane. I have 1 box of these and I have 2 boxes of these. So what is that? It's $1,000 in V Friends cards I have just sitting in my house, which is insane to me. Is there any other OG sales? And obviously the $6,000 for a pack. Here's another one. Offer accepted, but they were asking 12 grand. Yeah, I'm not just grabbing listings and throwing them around. They were like, oh, they're $2,500 a box originally. Oh, okay. Well, that's still. I thought they were like at most a grand, but still. Now, if you had taken that original money and put it into ETH, you would have lost money. Think of it that way. That's how I'm thinking of it. Very interested. Why did I bring? Oh, because we were talking about V Friends. I just wanted to like highlight this. There's a market here. There's obviously a lot of people that are excited by this. I just want to put some I guess send some roses to Gary. Like he's kind of crushing it. But also this is like that attention rotation of like this is super hot. Gary got really quiet on like Twitter, but like was super active in his Discord, was still posting about it, was still building really hard in the background if you were paying attention. And the evolution of what they've done with the company, love it. And now there's tons of opportunity to go trade and make capital, etc. I really want to dude, my biggest regret ever is not buying one of the damn cats on midnight. Because I could have bought one. I could have bought one of the cats. Yeah. I don't what's the floor in these? There is no. I don't think there is a floor. Last sale was dude, that's fucking nuts. 70 for this. Yeah, I think it was the orange one. Yeah, I could have bought one of these for 5 ETH on mint day and I wimped out. I would feel like some of these have sold for ridiculous number and they'll age the best. Yeah, the cats will age the best. But yeah, I keep coming back to like when we're thinking about the market, what else have you forgotten about? I keep like a book here on my desk of like every so often I'll just go through and I'll be like, hey, like what's hot right now? Why is it hot? Does it have longevity, etc. I wrote down like this is from back in October. Wrote down a whole bunch of different NFT projects. The Love Tennis collections one that I wrote down here, and I just said, hey, like this is super hot right now because of the US Open. When when it cools down, and we know that every time a big tennis event happens, he's probably gonna run again. So it's on my radar. Like, I think you gotta approach this in a little bit more meaningful way of keeping up on, okay, instead of just digesting what people are tweeting about and what KOLs are shoving down my throat, I'm gonna like actually do my own like research and try to like come up with my own hypotheses. That's the only way you're gonna be ahead of the curve, is like kind of studying. um, a lot of people ask me like, how did I sell the twin flame for $500,000? Well, I did my research. I realized that photography was about to have its moment. I realized that the collector base for all of Justin's art was shrinking, or it was growing very rapidly. And then I started talking to the right people and started to figure out that, okay, this guy has ambitions to go to Sotheby's, etc. And as all this started happening, it was the right time to buy, and then it started getting talked about. But I already owned one at that point, and they went crazy, and then I sold. And I think the same things happen time and time and time again. Right now, I think we're kind of seeing the same thing with like the etho, like the Kato. When I kept these, and people were like, oh, sell it for 2 ETH. You're an idiot for not selling it for 2 ETH. They ran to 13, but the thesis was, hey, they're gonna do an airdrop. They're gonna incorporate it. There's an actual thesis here. I'm gonna hold on to it. Same thing with Ethos. Same thing with Pudgy Rods right now. I think they're free once they figure out integration to the game, and plus they have the IP with Overpass and how these are integrated, and they give you extra reward. I think they're free. So I bought a bunch of those. You got to study. This shit doesn't come free to you. If you think it's all just gonna fucking fall in your lap, you're insane. What's up, Web3 Karina over on Abstract? Absolutely love to see it. But Nicole, the answer to your question, how much are they actually sold for? Above $6,000. There you go. Yeah, insane, absolutely insane. Um, I was gonna pull up what's going on in the rest of the crypto market, and man, let me tell you something. I can't wait till I don't have to use Coin Market Cap to get it to pull all this up. Um, I'm working on a solution to not having to use this atrocious site. Um, don't even get me started there. But I've been, for those who don't know, been very deep in the trenches of building and working around like token and trading and getting information aggregation down. Um, and a whole bunch of other fun things. And thank you to the people that have been supporting that. But I think that if you open this up as like a consumer and you're like, yo, what's going on in the market today? Cool. Outside of the fact that I can see that, okay, today was a pretty much across the entire industry. Like, yes, we had some up moments, but we ended the day flat for most things. Um, yeah, like literally everything is just back where we started the day at. Um, we're kind of, this doesn't give you, I think, the entire insight that you need as a trader. I think also, or even as just a participant, it also kind of leaves you asking more questions than you have answered. Yes, I get that launch coins, a trending token on DexScan right now, but why? And why is it down 30? Like, why is it down 30%? Again, I have more questions than I came to this site with. I'll answer some of those for you in a second, but Launchcoin, I think currently, oh my god, actually, this is going to get interesting here, because Launchcoin also came out and said, "Hey, we're pausing launching tokens to help work with the tokens that we've already launched here." Almost every chart that exists for a Launchcoin token looks like up and down. I don't think there's any that have done significantly better, or they've like launched up, come down. Now they're kind of like trading at like 75% off of what their all time high was. I've got one pulled up on the other screen. I've got a bunch pulled up here because I've been tracking this. Again, ICM Rant is, are we going to like, I have yet to hear a very good argument for, besides the founders make a bunch of fees. Cool. Everybody's like defending the founders here and be like, oh, it's good for the company. But in 3 weeks, when your bags are at 0, you're like, "Oh, you're right, that was a fucking terrible idea." But I haven't seen a founder come out and be like, "This is how we're gonna do it. Here's how it works." Besides it just being an attention token, right? Like, you don't own anything in the company. Um, and sure, like, you can do loyalty and perks, etcetera, but, uh, we kinda saw how that ended with AI XBT. You price out everybody, and it ends up being like $300,000 for terminal access. So I haven't heard it yet. If I'm totally overlooking the right solution for launch coins, let me know. So believe launch coin is related to believe. Everybody's predicting that this goes to a multi-billion dollar market cap, currently sitting at $220 million, down from its $300 million peak that we had, or $350 million peak. Um, if you look at this from a levels point, it's at a support level for where it's bounced previously and had resistance. So will be an interesting moment to see here. The bleed off from 300 million to 200 million, which is a 30% drop today, is mainly around all the FUD of everybody saying, well, I don't know about this. Is this a sustainable thing? Plus them again pausing and kind of being like, let's tap the brakes here and figure this out. Huge W to them though. The volume that they've done is incredible. Over the last 24 hours, notably $85.93 million in volume and trading volume. I'm curious in fees what that translates to them. Um, but this is probably the number one token you should have. All those questions I just asked, again, CoinMarketCap does not answer. And so this is where I'm like, hey, you got to go to the right news sources. You got to be using the right, be in the right group chats, etc. Otherwise, this is like, what the hell's going on? So I'm like, I am. I got, you guys got me ranting off of the ICM stuff. And now I'm just ranting about everything. Um, yeah. Also, I got to move. Can I move this over here or no? Nope, I can't. I'm not loving this setup. I should be able to move. Oh wait. What if I do this? There. Wait, and then I do this? No. No, I can't get this over to the other side, which is unfortunate because I was hoping that the sponsored by Loot logo wouldn't cover my face. Yeah, Nicole, it's insane. Yeah, so View Friends, obviously huge secondary market. But yeah, the coin market right now, the trading tokens, launch coin, that's number one. Trump, I had on OXAL onto the live stream at $9. He said at some point this is gonna pump. A month and a half later, we got the rip, but he was right. It was coming. Um, Sky, I have no idea about this, so don't. It's on BNB, so I just ignore. Um, yeah. What happened this day? No, we all know, but yeah, incredible to see Trump, which was down. Oh my god, this actually went much lower. I didn't realize how low this was. $7. So, incredible pump here, all the way up to 15, double up there. Um, yes, and always Farcoin, a trending token. Why? Because hot air rises, and that is enough for me to ape $100,000 into a token. Um, yeah, this is an insane chart. Insane chart. Yes, this was down, but, like, comparatively, if you look at everything else that this was, like, going down further here, this was just solid as a rock. Absolutely. Impressive stuff. I think this will end up being one of, like, the number one meme coins, for a while. Definitely, like, a blue chip meme if you wanna put it in that way, or that time or in that sort of, framing. Um, what else we got going on here? Look, I just wanted to get on and rant about ICM and like just look at the market a little bit and see how people are doing. Um, I'm like not like I think it's just insane. I think a lot of people are gonna lose money. Um, I'm gonna have on some founders, invite some people on, and talk to them about what they're doing and plans, etc. And maybe I turn out I'm wrong, but I'm okay at that. And I think maybe that's like the number one thing I think people that are like making content or like even tweeting right now in the space need to do is like admit when you're wrong. It's also gonna save you a shit ton of money if you're trading and you're willing to admit when you're wrong. Like, cut your losses early, or jump into something that you're like, "Actually, hypothesis was wrong. This is running, and I now can see the thesis for this to go much higher." Um, Again, maybe I should frame that different. Don't chase things, but yeah, there's admitting when you're wrong is a underappreciated point or value or skill set in this space. So, other than that, man, like I'm kind of just chilling, watching how things play out. If you're watching currently and you're not already, big shout out to our sponsor loot.gg. Could go sign up for the wait list today at loot.gg. It'll shoot you right to the wait list. Um, yes, not financial advice, but definitely something you should check out. And I'd be very grateful of you to support loot.gg. There's one other thing that I wanted to talk about. I saved this tweet and I was like, oh, I got to talk about this. Um, oh my God, maybe I didn't save it. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of people are talking about how there's been a ton of deploys from big capital companies into ETH and Bitcoin. Um, and also we've seen like a lot of the high end NFT art start to sell. So like there's signals right now for me that I see that are pretty bullish on where we are going um overall. And I don't think unless we see a big geopolitical event happen or some crazy thing, like I think ultimately expect for this summer to be a very fun one if you are a bull. And I think the last thing I can leave you with here, unless there's a question from somebody who's watching again, is this is probably the best moment to understand things are going to get really, really fun. Um, and that you probably shouldn't have a closed mind. You probably shouldn't be a maxi. You should go test new things out. Um, yeah, I have nothing but like excitement for what's to come here. Um, and yeah, just don't get lost in the sauce. Every time that we're at this point in a cycle, and I've been here since 2014, so I've seen a thing or I'm not being like, oh, I joined when like 2021 when the NFTs were going off. Like, yeah, sure, I was tweeting then, but I was here in 2014, so I've been through some shit. I've lost. I don't even want to tell you how many. I had 200 Bitcoin at one point. That was what that's like $20 million right now. Um, don't again, I have seen some shit. I know I've made the mistakes and hopefully you don't make the mistakes. Uh you really should not get lost in the sauce of the ICM stuff, and you really should be paying attention to the companies that are building things that are getting users and what's getting traction. Now, Launchcoin obviously has a ton of users and a ton of traction, so from them, I'm bought into the idea of that going very high, unless they do what they did today, which is say we're pausing launching coins. Sir, that's your business. That's how you're making money right now. So, not good for them, but what is BCM? I'm scared to ask that, Graph. Very scared. Let me know. BCM capital market, B capital markets. I have no idea. Um, Somebody told me ICM stood for Insider Capital Markets because of all the snipers and KOLs buying in early on stuff. Um, but yeah, no, like I just think that from having done this long enough, there's a moment here where there's opportunity, and Launchcoin, like I mentioned, is certainly one, but um, I'm also kind of just keeping my ears open and trying to talk to as many people as possible. I'm gonna bring back the streams more often here. If you enjoy these, let me know. Dude, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I did way better for like the soccer content, the football content. Love that. That was super easy, like the vlog style stuff. The morning show stuff is just very hard to do when you're up until like 5 a.m. every night. It's look, I roll out of bed at like 7:30 in the morning after like 2.5 hours of sleep. And I'm like, give me one more week and then I'll get back to it, hoping that I can chill there. But yeah, the live streams I enjoy it. I can just come on here and talk. But I don't know if people want to like see me like watch me like trade and like I can't show like some of the meetings that I'm in during the day. I'm figuring it out. But we'll see what happens. As always, thanks for tuning in and chatting. It's good to see everybody here. Thanks to everybody on Abstract that tuned in. If you're not following me on Twitter, you're not following me on Abstract or wherever, feel free to connect. You want to chat, you want to ask me a question, you want my opinion on something, I'm here. Just vibing, enjoying another day in Web3. We'll catch you on the next one. Hope everybody's having a lovely Thursday evening. And I'll see you all tomorrow morning when we go live. We talk again and we'll have on a guest. We'll have an interview tomorrow. Next week, interview I'm looking forward to, Tasker AI coming on. That'll be an exciting one. But thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll catch you on the next one.